Hello. As I said in my previous video, today I will try to talk about Eric Jan Zürcher's book. And today I will share my screen because I published like a piece, like a summary about this book. So I will share my screen and then I will briefly talk about this book. In fact, my book was this book summary that I wrote was first published in Politik Akademisi. Also, I uploaded my summary here in my Academia profile, and today I will try to read the basic, points in this summary because this is a really long, as you can see, summary. So let me talk a little bit about the author. Eric Jan Zürcher received his PhD in 1977, and since 1997 he has held the chair of Turkish Studies in Leiden University in Netherlands, I think. Also, he worked as an affiliate professor at Stockholm University. And now let's talk about the book. So Turkey, a Modern History. This book, yes, there's an introduction part in this book. Here in the introduction part, the author talks about periodization theory and methodology of the book. Zürcher's book is divided into three parts. First part describes the emergence of modern Turkey in the 19th century. The second part of the book is dominated by the Young Turk era. The years between 1908 and 1950 is encompassed in the section because politically, economically, and ideologically, there's a great deal of continuity according to the author. And the third part deals with the period since the transition to multi-party politics. Here in part one, as you can see on the screen, this part tells many things about the Ottoman Empire, the population of the empire, the Ottoman system of government, the economic developments, empire in international politics. Also, there is a sub part in this section. It talks about the innovation policies, Sultan Selim III, and then the fall of Selim III. It talks about French Revolution and how French Revolution affected the Ottoman Empire. Also, Sultan Mahmud II is another important figure addressed in the book. Then the author talks about the reforms. Then Tanzimat era. We know it is 1839 and between 1839 and 1871. The basic aims of Tanzimat era was the establishment of guarantees for the life and property of the subjects, an orderly system of taxation, a system of conscription of the army, and equality before the law of all subjects, whatever their religion. Here also the author talks about the opposition to the reforms. And then Abdülhamit II era is addressed, the Young Turk movement is addressed. This is the first part of the book. The second part of the book is related with the Young Turk era. This is 1908 and 1950. We know that this is the second constitutional period of the empire, and Balkan Wars are important. And also we know that there is a coup attempt in Turkish, Babali Baskını, I think it was called. Also, he again in this part, the financial, the ideological, and the reform policies, all of these topics are addressed. The independence war, the political movements, the peace treaty of Lausanne is also being covered in this part. And the emergence of one-party states. Here, the author talks about the single-party rule, the establishment of the Republican People's Party, and the reforms and executions. And there is a 20-year period, as you can see. This is one-party rule, and Republican People's Party still totalitarian tendencies, the reform policies, the economic developments, statism, and also the wealth tax known as varlık vergisi that was imposed in 1942 after the Second World War. The part 3 is called as a troubled democracy. Here, the Zürcher talks about the rule of the Democrat Party. He talks about Menderes and how Democrat Party was established. Then the Second Republic was was another periodization. So it was the period covering the 1960 coup until the 1980 coup. It talks about the memorandum, the Demirel governments, the political polarization that was witnessed in the late 1970s. The Third Republic is another subsection in this book. In this part, it is called the Third Republic, Turkey since 1980. Here, the author talks about the liberalization policies, Turgut Özal rule. Also, we know that in the mid 1990s, the Islamists, the political Islamist party, the Welfare Party, ruled led by Necmettin Erbakan, got control in Turkish politics. And also in 2002, we know that the elections, the AK Party won a victory. And there's an epilogue at the end of the book. Yes, briefly, I can say that today this book, the book of Erik Jan Zürcher, talks about the developments from the late Ottoman times until the early 2000s. Of course, you know that there are many editions of the book. Also, some of the topics depends on I think the edition of the book. So I will put down the links and about my going to my summary. And thank you. I hope to host a guest in my next video. So I'm looking for some guests. Thank you very much for listening to this video.